All right, this is going to be my favorite part of the conversation. So you and I have watched almost every, if not
Mm.
every, video that Liquid Death has put out. We've scoured the internet to see all of the stunts they pulled, and we've compiled some of our favorite examples. Some of them I think we both felt like not for us, but some of them had me like, crying laughing. I just so funny. I'm gonna do a quick rundown of some of my like greatest hits that I enjoyed, and then let you close us up with a couple of your favorite ads that Liquid Death has created. Conceptually, they've taken their hate comments from customers online and have done a series of greatest hits music videos where the lyrics are pulled directly from the customer hate comments. Talk about like the counterintuitive notion of most brands would try to like bury those and act like they don't exist. They take hate comments or comments that critique them and make them the front facing message to consumers. Wrong on paper, hilarious. They did a 30-minute infomercial for a Cole Technology fake headband that ended in a 5-minute debacle of a zombie coming out and eating all the people. Just mind-blowing, but hilarious. A strategic one, Mike Cesario, Skateboarding Culture, wanted to be a part of sponsoring skateboarders or skateboarding events, was boxed out by other energy drinks, and so he challenged the CEOs of those energy drinks to a skateboarding competition, knowing that he was a skateboarder, they were not, to show that they were a more authentic brand for skateboarding than the others. There was a guy, a customer or a fan who drank a Liquid Death every day for 365 days, a full year. So Mike Cesario got a tattoo of that fan on his arm, and they videoed the whole thing. It was amazing. Liquid Death is responsible for the first ever Waterboy sponsorship. They also rebranded the term
Great.
Waterboy to be the hydration specialist.
Mm.
They literally did an NFL style combine and recorded the whole thing for Waterboys. And the winner of the combine got $100,000 sponsorship for a year from Liquid Death. Brilliant. They've run all kinds of crazy taste tests and filmed them, and they're hilarious. One of them was Liquid Death versus the most expensive beverages in the world. And so you'd think like champagne or fine wine. No, they'd take like high-end steak and blend it up and have Liquid Death versus like a $80 steak. Obviously, the steak taste is terrible blended. They had like, I'm making it up. It's like beluga caviar, $550 worth of it in a cup, and like a funny reprice positioning
Mm.
for them. They also had two fans who, or a fan who commented that Liquid Death tastes worse than licking the sweat off of a fat guy's back. So they brought in consumers to drink Liquid Death, and then they had a fat guy who is sweating from being in a sauna and had consumers actually lick his back to do a taste test. Absurd, but hilarious. Um, they also did a blind taste test. Two people commented on social media that Liquid Death was the worst tasting water in the world. So they brought them in and did a challenge. They had 7 different water brands that they couldn't tell which one was which. And they had to they drank each. And if they could pick out Liquid Death from the 7, they'd win $1,000. If they couldn't, Liquid Death got to tase them, and they were both tased. Amazing. They have a pit diaper, so an adult diaper that you can buy that you can wear at concerts, so you don't have to go to the bathroom. You can just go in your pants. They did an activation with Yeti cooler and did Yeti literally a casket
Mm.
that's a cooler. A little like probably too far on like the morbidity, but talk about it capturing attention. The last one and the most recent one that I've seen that I'll share is they did a stunt where they've tried to become the official tea of Arizona. You can see the obvious problem with that. We have a long established brand who's Arizona iced tea. So they found a place called Arizona, Nebraska, and became the official sponsor of the town of Arizona, Nebraska, thus legally being allowed to claim the slogan official iced tea of Arizona. Just like the creativity behind it is brilliant, and just like the storytelling on the backside. I've just literally I was up till like 2 AM one night just watching every single video they have on YouTube, and it was, I mean, I was crying.
Mm.
It was amazing. All right, but you have some great ones to share as well.
Yeah.
Want you
And what I want to do is instead of volume, I want people to see some of this. I
let's
picked
do it.
just a couple of commercials that I thought were particularly good since I kind of had that background and I want to share them with our audience right now. But the first one, it was really brilliant to me. Picture you're at a party, and picture you're at a party with, 20 or 30-year-olds, and you go around, everybody's drinking, and, somebody's asleep on the table and all this stuff. So they decided to do the same thing, but this commercial is called Breaking the Law, and it's a bunch of 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and they're filming them at this party. And I don't want to spoil it for you because we're about to show you, but let's take a look at this commercial and just see the parody of the part and how the payoff at the end is that's the shock value is at the end. So let's take a look at what they call breaking the law.
Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
So that line at the end, don't worry, it's a pregnant lady comes out and it's like,
just
oh, you're not supposed to
brilliant.
drink alcohol. She's just
So
don't
good.
worry, it's just water. And the whole background music is breaking the law, breaking the law. And so I just thought that was a stroke of brilliance. And we have to talk about it.
Yeah, I wish I was in
Everybody
that.
just watched it is going to tell somebody about it.
Just to be in like the script writing room
Yeah.
when that idea popped up. I'm jealous.
Yeah. So the attorneys apparently allowed them to break the law.
Break the law. Yes.
So the next one I want to show you was really, really interesting. It's called Drinking on the Job. So to set this one up, they've got a bunch of professional people who are drinking on the job. It's people like policemen and doctors and all kind of people that you wouldn't ever expect to drink on the job. And I'll just let you watch it. So let's take a look at Drinking on the Job.
Drink on the job, drink on the job. Everyone is drinking on the job. Drink, drink, drink. Yeah, everyone is drinking on the job. Drink on the job, drink on the job.
When I saw that doctor, and then the
Before
police-
surgery.
That was just amazing. And it's so shocking because, they take kind of what you would expect and they do something just the opposite, but there's always the payoff at the end that you realize it is safe and it is.
It's just water.
Yeah, it's just water.
It's actually probably helping them do what they do better
Yeah.
with hydration.
So the last one we're not going to show you. I want to tell you a little bit about it, but every year, kind of the Academy Award, so to speak, for advertisers is the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is one of the few times of the year when people actually look forward to the commercials, maybe as much as the game itself. For a lot of people, they love the commercials because those commercials tend to be very entertaining, but they cost a fortune. So in this countercultural approach that Liquid Death always has, they decided to hack the Super Bowl. They said, why would you spend, like we talked about earlier, $7 million to rent eyeballs? But they knew that the Super Bowl is still something they want to be part of, but how could we creatively kind of get into it in a way that would be very clever? So what they decided to do is they put a $50,000 bet through Caesar's Palace, very legal. They got their lawyers to approve
Yes.
a legal bet was on the underdog. They said, we don't care who they announced it well ahead. We don't care who the two teams are. We're betting on the underdog because they felt like we are the underdog. So you get that empathy that we're the underdog. And so we're going to bet on the underdog. But then to help ensure their bet, they hired a witch doctor to come in
It's absurd.
sit and
So funny.
and cast spells on, and they said they're very careful. They said, we're not casting spells on any people, but we're casting spells on field goals. And we're casting spells on first downs. And, so they found a way to kind of hack it in a way that most people would appreciate. Very clever, but they had a witch doctor at the game casting spells so that whenever the underdog was in a position, need a little help, and then place that bet. And then they also said, if we win the bet, we're going to split it with charity. The money's going to go to charity. But I thought, they weren't an ad in the Super Bowl, but it came all the talk around this, and everybody's looking for the witch doctor in the Super Bowl. And they're talking about it before, when they're the hype going up to the commercial, and talking about it afterwards. And I thought, what a brilliant, creative way of getting into something the whole world is attuned to that normally costs millions and millions of dollars, and getting into it in a very low green matter way,
Yes.
but high gray matter, red matter. You know, it's like they just were able to be creative enough to figure out their way
It's
in.
just creative brilliance.
Yes.
The other wasn't there another Super Bowl one where they sold advertising space on their packaging
Yes.
during the Super Bowl?
Yes. They said, why would you want to spend $7 million? We'll get you more eyeballs through 500,000 packages in the stores and all that kind of
It's
brilliant.
so smart.